So we've been talking about the NBA rookies here for about a week or so. So I figure that's enough time to now talk about who I believe to be the 5 best rookies in the NBA right now. Maybe it's not enough time at all, but screw it, I'm just going to roll with it. And when I look at these 5 guys, I am of course going to pay attention to the rookie seasons they're having right now, but I also want to look towards the future and see who could end up being the best if we fast forward like 2 or 3 seasons. I think that's the best way to go about it. Or maybe it's not, and maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, which is pretty much half the time. But whatever, let's dive into this thing. Number 1, I think we're all going to agree, Joel Embiid, as Embiid has been, besides the best rookie, one of the better players in the NBA, and I think no one would really scoff at the idea of him being like one of the 25 best players in the league right now. His athleticism is the first thing that jumps out, at least to me, as he can move up and down the floor pretty damn crazily and outrun a lot of opposing big men. But then in the half court, he can score in the low post, score inside in general, and he can really be the backbone of an offense. Surround him with shooters and all that good stuff. But then the guy can also hit from outside as well, which is really a product of 2017. And then defensively, Embiid has shown an ability to move around the floor very well while also being a hell of a rim protector. Last time I checked, he was averaging over 2 blocks a game. He's currently averaging about 20 points and 8 rebounds, while shooting 36% from 3 at 22 years old. So Embiid, if I fast forward 2 or 3 years, he could be a top 10 player, potentially top 5, depending on where LeBron or Durant are. Maybe the best player in the NBA, I don't know. And the craziest stat for Joel above all of them, besides his Twitter traffic, because he has like the best Twitter account in the world, let alone the NBA, the thing he did with Hassan Whiteside's All-Star vote was just awesome, is he actually makes the 76ers a respectable team when he's on the floor. I think they actually have a positive plus-minus when he's been playing this season, and then when he's off the floor, they're like minus 1,000,005. So Embiid makes the 76ers an actual respectable team, and he's just an awesome two-way player who's an athletic freak, so he's number 1. Of course, we should remember Ben Simmons is hurt, or else he would probably be in this 5 somewhere. Now, number 2 might surprise you a little bit. Malcolm Brogdon has had probably the second best rookie season this year, but I'm going to go with Brandon Ingram number 2, and the reason I'm going to do that is because throughout this kid's life, he's been heralded for his scoring, his ability to put the ball in the basket, his ability to shoot, score in the low post sometimes, and that's what he did at Duke. He was a very good outside shooter there, and people were comparing him to Kevin Durant for a reason. So he's going to get that shot going eventually. Actually, in the month of January, he's averaging about 12 points per game while shooting well from the field, so it's already beginning to happen. But what excites me the most with Ingram is he's placed so much of an emphasis on his all-around game since entering the NBA. He's been a pretty damn solid defensive player this season. Not perfect, of course. He's a rookie. He's got ways to go, but he's been okay on that side of the floor. He's consistently getting like 2 to 4 assists per game, even though he's not the primary ball handler of his team, which is pretty damn impressive, 1, just as a rookie, but 2, when you have D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Lou Williams, I mean, you're not going to get the ball as much other than just shooting, so to be someone who has been really good in the pick and roll and able to find guys in transition, that's really damn impressive for Ingram. His rebounding has been strong as well at about 4 per game. And he just seems like a guy who really wants to be a complete player, and he's been playing about 25 plus minutes consistently for the Lakers this entire year. So while I don't think he's had the second best rookie season, 1, he's pretty close, and I think he could improve as the year goes on. But then 2, if we fast forward a couple of years, I think he's going to be like the second best guy in this class, because I think the jumper is going to start falling, the points are going to go up, he's already doing it in January, but then he's still going to be that playmaker, the rebounder, the defensive player, and the guy who just seems to have a real desire to make the overall team better and not just put up a lot of big numbers. And so for that reason, I'm going to put Brandon Ingram number 2 here. Now number 3 is going to be Malcolm Brogdon, who kind of came out of nowhere. I think everybody else here was a real high pick in the draft, but in the case of Brogdon, he was in the second round, and I remember all of us were like, well, Middleton's gone, so the Bucks don't have a chance, at least at the postseason. But Brogdon, the three-point shooting has been huge, first and foremost. Over 40% from 3 from pretty much the jump. He was a 5-year college player, so I guess it's not surprising he's a bit more NBA ready right now. But he came into this thing as a shooting guard who could really play off ball and make an impact and create spacing for Jabari Parker as well as Giannis to do their thing. But as the season has gone on, the playmaking has been very impressive as well, as he's been averaging about 3 to 4 assists consistently, and he's actually been playing the point guard position for these guys and actually being a creator, someone who can create his own shot and finish pretty well at the rim, but then also be setting up other guys for stuff. So Brogdon was really a diamond in the rough, and if I fast forward a couple of seasons, I could see him being potentially the starting point guard of this team and being kind of the perfect point guard next to Giannis in the sense of he can create when Giannis is not in the game, but then when Giannis is in the game, he can be a shooter to play off of him. And I could picture him averaging definitely double-digit points, maybe 14 or 15 points, 5 assists per game, being a very good three-point shooter. I think Brogdon has just been awesome for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, for number 4, I'm going to give this one to Buddy Hield, who started off the year struggling, man. He could not hit a jumper to save his life, and I think he just had to take a minute to adjust to the NBA game, given that the three-point line, it is a couple of feet back, and sure, in college, like, if you watch his highlights, he was definitely hitting NBA threes, but I guess consistently taking them there, while also being against NBA defenders who are just flat out better, bigger, stronger, more athletic. A bit tougher sometimes to get your shot over them, but Buddy has been killing it lately, as for the last month and a half, he has been over 40% from 3. Overall from the field, he still has work to do, but he's been attempting about 5 threes a game, and he is knocking them down at nearly 50%, and that is just awesome to be able to do that as a rookie. And it shows, like, yeah, Buddy could really be the next great shooter of the NBA, I guess, because he's, 21, 22 with the three-pointers he's making. And I also think if the Pelicans could build the proper team around Anthony Davis to where there's actually multiple guys who you have to really pay attention to, then Buddy could get a lot of open shots for the New Orleans Pelicans. What intrigues me, though, a little bit more is his ability to create his own shot at times. He's been in the pick and roll where he can do pull-up jumpers. He's also shown some nice craftiness when it comes to the mid-range. And all that's just kind of icing on the cake for being what seems to be him being a fantastic outside shooter for 12, 13 years maybe. So we have our top 4, and now let me talk about a couple of guys who are not going to be in here and why they would not be. One of them is Jamal Murray. He had an awesome 1 month this year as someone who could create his own shot and shoot threes off the dribble, but he hasn't been able to make a shot pretty much since Buddy Hield started coming on. Like, if you just flip Buddy Hield and Jamal Murray's seasons, it's pretty accurate. With Pascal Siakam, the defense and the athleticism seem pretty damn intriguing. I fear that he's never going to be anything offensively, and for that, I just can't really put him up here. Marquise Chris, also an athletic power forward who has more of an offensive thing, I guess, going on as he's been making three-pointers and stuff this year. He's really bad on defense, so he's just going to have to work on that and get to at least an okay level. So now the final 2, and the last 2 names I'm thinking of is Dario Saric and Jalen Brown. And if we look at the seasons they're having, I think Saric would probably be having a better year given that he's been a knockdown three-point shooter from the moment he walked into the NBA. And that's awesome. However, I do still question his defense. I know he had 2 blocked shots the other day. Look, awesome, but 2 individual plays don't trump the fact that he's not that great of a defensive player. Does that mean he could not grow into one? No, of course not. I like his athleticism. I like his lateral quickness. He could become a decent help defender as well as pick and roll defender, but he's not there right now. And also, the reason I'm considering Saric over Chris is because Saric, while he has work to do on defense as well, he's a very good outside shooter, whereas Chris is not, even if he's shown some signs. Jalen Brown, who his athleticism of course stands out, he's shown some ability of working off the dribble and getting inside and being a defensive player. My fear with Jalen is that he's going to cap out at like a 16-point scorer, which is not a bad thing, but I mean, of course, you would like a guy who goes 3rd overall to be more of a scorer than that. If I had to pick between Saric or Jalen, I mean, it's pretty damn close. And if I pick one, it doesn't mean the other one sucks or anything, but I'll go with Jalen Brown because I'm a biased Celtics fan, and I do genuinely believe his defensive potential, on top of at least becoming good enough in terms of a shooter and a ball handler with his athleticism, I think that could be better than what Dario Saric could become. Could be wrong on that one, I don't know. But those are your 5. Shout out to NBA rookies, shout out to Ben Simmons, and I'm done.